Our first story begins in New Orleans, where Esmeralda claimed supernatural abilities and operated Crystal Vision's psychic parlor for 8 years. She advertised accurate readings and spiritual guidance that could reveal hidden truths about love, money, and future events. Local residents often visited her shop seeking answers during uncertain times in their lives. When college student Tobias walked into her parlor worried about a struggling relationship, Esmeralda immediately told him she sensed dark energy surrounding his girlfriend. "There's a curse on your love life that's been placed by someone jealous of your happiness," she explained while shuffling her tarot cards. "But I can remove this negative energy for $300 and restore the natural flow of romance." Tobias felt desperate enough to pay the fee, hoping to save his relationship. 2 weeks later, when nothing improved, Esmeralda insisted the curse was stronger than expected and required additional cleansing rituals costing $800 more. "The spiritual forces are fighting back because they don't want to release their hold on your romantic destiny," she claimed. Over 6 months, Tobias paid nearly $4,000 for various curse removals, spiritual cleanings, and protective amulets that never delivered the promised results. When he finally realized the scam and demanded his money back, Esmeralda threatened that stopping the treatments would bring terrible misfortune to his entire family. Investigation by Consumer Protection revealed Esmeralda had no psychic abilities whatsoever and had been targeting vulnerable people experiencing relationship problems, financial stress, or family conflicts. She used cold reading techniques and psychological manipulation to convince clients they needed expensive spiritual services. Over 200 victims had paid amounts ranging from $500 to $15,000 for fake psychic treatments that never provided actual supernatural assistance. Our second story takes us to Phoenix, where fortune teller Balthazar operated Mystic Horizons Spiritual Center and claimed he could communicate with deceased relatives. He specialized in contacting spirits and promised emotional healing through supernatural messages from beyond. When recently widowed grandmother Ophelia visited his center desperate to speak with her late husband, Balthazar immediately claimed he was receiving messages. "Your husband Robert is here and wants you to know he's watching over you from the other side," he announced during her first session. "But he's concerned about financial troubles you're facing and says there's hidden money he left behind that dark forces are preventing you from finding." Ophelia had indeed been struggling with finances since Robert's death and felt amazed by Balthazar's apparent knowledge. He explained that negative spiritual energy was blocking her access to the inheritance and that he could perform a money manifestation ritual for $1,200. "Robert is telling me that once we clear these spiritual blockages, you'll discover the hidden accounts he prepared for your security," Balthazar promised. Over 8 months, Ophelia paid over $18,000 for increasingly expensive rituals, spiritual consultations, and energy clearing sessions. When she eventually realized no hidden money existed and demanded proof of his abilities, Balthazar claimed her negative attitude was interfering with the spiritual connections. Local authorities discovered Balthazar had been researching his clients through obituaries and social media to gather personal information that made his readings seem authentic. He had defrauded 47 grieving individuals out of more than $300,000 by exploiting their emotional vulnerability and desire to connect with deceased loved ones. Our third story unfolds in Seattle, where psychic advisor Persephone claimed she could predict lottery numbers and stock market movements through supernatural visions. She operated future wealth psychic services and promised clients they could achieve financial success by following her mystical investment guidance. When struggling mechanic Quincy heard about her supposed ability to foresee profitable investments, he scheduled a consultation hoping to improve his family's financial situation. "I'm seeing powerful visions of your financial future, and the spirits are showing me specific opportunities that will transform your economic circumstances," Persephone announced during their meeting. She claimed her supernatural insights had helped numerous clients achieve wealth through psychically guided investments and lottery predictions. For $800, she offered to provide monthly financial guidance based on her mystical visions and spiritual market analysis. Quincy paid the fee and received predictions about specific stocks and lottery numbers that supposedly carried spiritual energy. When his first investments failed and the lottery numbers didn't win, Persephone explained that negative energy from his skeptical thoughts was interfering with the spiritual guidance. She insisted that additional cleansing sessions costing $1,500 would remove the psychic blockages preventing his financial success. Over 14 months, Quincy invested nearly $25,000 following Persephone's mystical financial advice and purchasing spiritual enhancement services. None of her predictions proved accurate, and he lost his savings while she continued collecting fees for worthless psychic investment guidance. Investigation revealed Persephone had no supernatural abilities and was simply giving random financial advice while collecting payment for fake mystical services. She had convinced 63 people to invest over $400,000 based on fraudulent psychic predictions that never delivered promised financial results. Our fourth story brings us to Las Vegas, where crystal healer Maximilian operated Sacred Stone Healing Center and claimed his gemstones possessed supernatural healing powers. He advertised that his specially charged crystals could cure serious illnesses and eliminate physical pain through mystical energy vibrations. When chronically ill teacher Prudence visited his center seeking relief from her fibromyalgia symptoms, Maximilian examined her aura and claimed he could see the spiritual root of her condition. Your illness is caused by negative energy blockages in your chakras, but I have sacred healing crystals that can realign your spiritual energy and eliminate your pain, he explained while displaying expensive gemstones. He recommended a treatment package involving rare healing stones that supposedly carried ancient mystical properties powerful enough to cure her medical condition. For $3,000, he provided amethyst clusters, rose quartz formations, and specially blessed healing crystals that required specific placement around her home. When Prudence's symptoms didn't improve after several weeks, Maximilian insisted her body needed time to adjust to the crystal energy and sold her additional stones for enhanced healing power. The spiritual healing process varies for each person, and your body is releasing years of accumulated negative energy, he claimed. Over 10 months, Prudence purchased nearly $15,000 worth of healing crystals and spiritual treatments while her medical condition remained unchanged. When she finally consulted real doctors and realized crystals couldn't cure serious illness, Maximilian threatened that stopping the crystal treatments would allow her negative energy to return stronger than before. Medical professionals confirmed that crystal healing has no scientific basis and cannot treat actual medical conditions. Maximilian had exploited 34 people suffering from chronic illnesses, collecting over $200,000 for worthless healing crystals that provided no legitimate medical benefits. Our fifth story takes place in Boston, where spiritual advisor Cordelia claimed she could remove hexes and break curses that were supposedly causing her clients' life problems. She operated Blessed Protection spiritual services and promised to eliminate supernatural threats through powerful cleansing rituals and protective spells. When recent divorcee Garrett contacted her about a string of bad luck, Cordelia immediately sensed dark magic surrounding his life. Someone who resents your happiness has placed a powerful curse on you that's causing financial problems, relationship failures, and general misfortune, she announced during their consultation. She explained that the hex was growing stronger each day and would continue destroying his life unless professionally removed through intensive spiritual intervention. For $1,800, she offered to perform a comprehensive curse removal ceremony involving sacred candles, protective oils, and mystical incantations. Garrett felt desperate enough to try anything and paid for the initial treatment. When his problems continued afterward, Cordelia claimed the curse was more complex than originally detected and required additional cleansing sessions. The person who cursed you used very advanced dark magic, and breaking it requires multiple spiritual interventions to completely neutralize the negative energy, she insisted. Over 7 months, Garrett paid over $12,000 for various curse removal services, protective amulets, and spiritual consultations that never improved his circumstances. When he demanded proof that curses actually existed, Cordelia warned that questioning the spiritual process would make the hex even more powerful. Investigation by consumer fraud investigators revealed Cordelia had no supernatural abilities and was targeting people experiencing normal life difficulties by convincing them their problems were caused by supernatural curses. She had collected over $150,000 from 51 victims who believed they needed expensive spiritual protection from imaginary magical threats. Our sixth story occurs in Denver, where palm reader Lysander operated Destiny Line's palm reading studio and claimed he could predict exact future events by examining hand lines and palm patterns. He advertised precise life predictions and guaranteed accurate forecasts about love, career, and financial prospects. When college graduate Madison visited his studio worried about her job prospects, Lysander studied her palms and announced he could see her entire professional future. Your career line shows you'll receive a major job offer within 6 weeks, but I also see obstacles that could prevent this opportunity from manifesting, he explained while tracing lines on her palms. He claimed negative energy was interfering with her professional destiny and offered to perform career enhancement rituals for $900. Without spiritual intervention, the job opportunity will go to someone else, but I can align your energy to guarantee professional success, Lysander promised. Madison paid the fee, hoping to improve her employment chances. When 6 weeks passed without any job offers, Lysander insisted the timing had shifted due to spiritual interference and sold her additional palm readings to track the changing predictions. The universal energy is constantly evolving, and your career timeline requires regular monitoring to maintain positive outcomes, he claimed. Over 8 months, Madison spent nearly $7,000 on palm readings, career rituals, and spiritual consultations while remaining unemployed. When she finally found work through normal job-searching methods, Lysander tried to take credit for the success and offered ongoing career protection services. Consumer Protection discovered Lysander had no legitimate fortune-telling abilities and was making random predictions while collecting payment for worthless palm reading services. He had defrauded 42 people seeking guidance about their futures, collecting over $85,000 for fake psychic predictions that never proved accurate. Our 7th story unfolds in Miami, where tarot card reader Evangeline operated Mystical Revelations Tarot Parlor and claimed her cards could reveal hidden secrets about people's lives and relationships. She specialized in love readings and promised to expose romantic deceptions through supernatural card interpretations. When suspicious wife Isadora visited seeking truth about her husband's behavior, Evangeline shuffled her tarot deck and immediately drew cards suggesting infidelity. The cards are clearly showing me that your husband is involved with another woman, and this betrayal is causing the relationship problems you've been sensing, she announced while displaying the mystical spread. She claimed the tarot revealed specific details about the affair and offered to perform additional readings to uncover more information about the other woman's identity. For $600, she provided detailed card interpretations that supposedly exposed the timeline and nature of her husband's romantic betrayal. When Isadora confronted her husband based on the tarot accusations, he denied everything, and their marriage became strained by suspicion and mistrust. Evangeline insisted the cards never lied and sold additional readings to track the ongoing affair and predict when the truth would be revealed. Your husband is skilled at hiding his deception, but the tarot can see through his lies and reveal the complete truth about his romantic activities, she claimed. Over 5 months, Isadora paid nearly $8,000 for tarot readings that increased her paranoia and destroyed her marriage through false accusations. When she hired a private investigator who found no evidence of infidelity, she realized the tarot predictions were completely fabricated. Investigation revealed Evangeline had been making random romantic accusations while collecting payment for worthless tarot readings that damaged relationships. She had convinced 37 people that their partners were unfaithful, collecting over $95,000 for fake psychic relationship guidance that often destroyed marriages and families. Our 8th story takes us to Atlanta, where aura reader Montgomery operated spiritual energy diagnostics and claimed he could detect illnesses and predict health problems by examining people's supernatural energy fields. He promised early disease detection and preventive healing through mystical aura analysis. When health-conscious nurse Tabitha visited his center for a spiritual wellness consultation, Montgomery stared at her intently and claimed he could see dangerous energy patterns around her body. Your aura is showing me serious health concerns that haven't been detected by conventional medicine yet, but I can see early signs of illness developing in your energy field, he announced while pretending to examine invisible spiritual emanations. He claimed his supernatural diagnostic abilities had helped numerous clients catch diseases before doctors could detect them through advanced mystical health screening. For $1,200, he offered comprehensive aura analysis and energy healing sessions to prevent the health problems he supposedly detected. Tabitha felt worried enough to pay for the mystical health screening, hoping to address potential medical issues early. When Montgomery claimed her aura showed signs of liver problems and kidney dysfunction, she immediately scheduled medical tests that revealed no health issues whatsoever. He insisted that conventional medicine couldn't detect the spiritual symptoms he was seeing and offered additional energy healing to prevent the predicted illnesses from manifesting physically. Your body is still in the pre-disease stage where only spiritual diagnostics can detect the developing problems, Montgomery explained. Over 6 months, Tabitha paid over $9,000 for aura readings and energy healing sessions while maintaining perfect health according to actual medical examinations. When she realized Montgomery's predictions were completely false, he claimed her negative attitude towards spiritual healing was interfering with his diagnostic abilities. Medical professionals confirmed that aura reading has no scientific validity and cannot detect actual health conditions. Montgomery had exploited 28 people's health concerns, collecting over $75,000 for fake spiritual diagnostics that provided no legitimate medical information. Our ninth story brings us to Portland, where medium Fitzgerald operated beyond the veil communications and claimed he could relay messages from deceased pets to their grieving owners. He specialized in animal spirit communication and promised emotional healing through supernatural conversations with beloved pets who had passed away. When heartbroken pet owner Delphine visited his center mourning her recently deceased cat, Fitzgerald immediately claimed he was receiving messages from her beloved companion. "Your cat Whiskers is here and wants you to know he's running and playing in the spiritual realm without any pain or suffering," he announced during their session. He claimed Whiskers was concerned about Delphine's grief and wanted her to adopt another cat to honor his memory and continue their bond. For $700, Fitzgerald offered ongoing communication sessions to maintain regular contact with her deceased pet and receive guidance about future animal companions. "Whiskers is telling me he's chosen a specific kitten at the local shelter that carries his spiritual energy and will bring you the same joy he provided," Fitzgerald explained. Delphine felt comforted by the supposed messages and paid for additional sessions to hear more from her beloved pet. When she adopted the recommended kitten, and it displayed completely different personality traits than Whiskers, Fitzgerald claimed the spiritual connection would develop over time as the animals' souls merged together. Over 4 months, Delphine spent nearly $5,000 on pet communication sessions that provided no real connection to her deceased companion. When she demanded proof that he could actually communicate with animal spirits, Fitzgerald claimed her doubts were blocking the supernatural connection. Investigation by Consumer Protection revealed Fitzgerald had no ability to communicate with deceased animals and was making generic statements that could apply to any pet relationship. He had exploited 41 grieving pet owners, collecting over $68,000 for fake animal spirit communication that provided no legitimate supernatural contact. Our 10th story occurs in Houston, where numerologist Reginald operated Sacred Numbers Life Guidance and claimed he could predict life events and provide guidance by analyzing people's birth dates and names through mystical number interpretations. He promised accurate life forecasts and important decision-making advice through supernatural mathematical calculations. When confused recent graduate Sterling visited seeking direction about his future, Reginald analyzed his birth information and announced he could see Sterling's entire life path through numerical patterns. "Your numbers reveal that you're entering a critical period where major life decisions will determine your success or failure," he explained while performing complex mystical calculations. He claimed Sterling's numerical vibrations indicated upcoming opportunities in specific career fields, but warned that negative number influences could prevent him from recognizing these chances. For $1,100, Reginald offered comprehensive numerological analysis and ongoing guidance to help Sterling navigate his life path and achieve his destined success. "Your birth numbers contain powerful information about your soul's purpose, and understanding these patterns will help you make decisions aligned with your spiritual destiny," he promised. Sterling paid for the numerological guidance, hoping to gain clarity about his future direction. When Reginald's predictions about career opportunities and life events failed to materialize, he claimed the timing was influenced by changing numerical cycles that required updated calculations. Over 10 months, Sterling spent nearly $13,000 on numerological consultations and spiritual guidance that provided no accurate predictions or helpful life direction. When he realized the number interpretations were meaningless, Reginald insisted that Sterling's lack of faith in numerology was interfering with the mystical guidance process. Mathematical experts confirmed that numerology has no scientific basis and cannot predict life events or provide legitimate guidance. Reginald had defrauded 33 people seeking life direction, collecting over $120,000 for worthless numerological analysis that offered no real insights about their futures. Our 11th story takes place in Chicago, where astrologer Vivian operated Celestial Destiny Astrological Services and claimed she could predict major life events and provide guidance by analyzing planetary positions in birth charts. She promised accurate forecasts about love, career, and financial prospects through detailed horoscope interpretations. When struggling artist Garrett contacted her about his creative career, Vivian analyzed his astrological chart and announced that planetary alignments were blocking his artistic success. Mars is opposing your creative Venus, and Saturn is creating obstacles in your career sector. But I can perform planetary realignment rituals to remove these cosmic barriers, she explained while pointing to mystical star charts. She claimed her astrological interventions had helped numerous clients achieve success by harmonizing their birth charts with favorable planetary influences. For $1,500, she offered comprehensive astrological guidance and cosmic energy adjustments to align Garrett's destiny with artistic prosperity. Once we balance your planetary energies, you'll see immediate improvements in your creative opportunities and financial success, Vivian promised. Garrett felt desperate enough to try astrological intervention and paid for the cosmic realignment services. When his art career remained stagnant after several months, Vivian claimed that Mercury retrograde was interfering with the planetary adjustments and sold him additional astrological remedies to counteract the cosmic interference. Over 12 months, Garrett spent over $18,000 on astrological consultations, planetary rituals, and cosmic energy sessions while his career prospects remained unchanged. When he demanded proof that astrology could actually influence life events, Vivian claimed his skeptical attitude was creating negative energy that blocked the cosmic assistance. Astronomical experts confirmed that planetary positions have no influence on human affairs and cannot predict or control life events. Vivian had exploited 55 people seeking guidance about their futures, collecting over $200,000 for fake astrological services that provided no legitimate cosmic assistance. Our 12th story unfolds in San Francisco, where chakra healer Octavia operated Rainbow Energy Healing Center and claimed she could cure depression and anxiety by realigning spiritual energy centers throughout the body. She promised emotional healing and mental wellness through mystical chakra balancing and energy manipulation. When depressed college student Wayne visited her center seeking relief from severe anxiety, Octavia examined his energy field and claimed his chakras were severely blocked by negative emotions. Your root chakra is completely closed, and your heart chakra is spinning in reverse, which is causing your depression and anxiety symptoms, she announced while pretending to sense invisible energy patterns. She explained that conventional therapy couldn't address spiritual energy imbalances and offered chakra healing sessions that would eliminate his mental health problems through mystical intervention. For $900, she provided crystal therapy, energy manipulation, and chakra realignment treatments that supposedly addressed the spiritual causes of his psychological distress. Once we open your blocked chakras and restore proper energy flow, your depression will disappear because we're treating the spiritual root of your mental health issues, Octavia promised. Wayne felt hopeful about the alternative treatment approach and paid for ongoing chakra healing sessions. When his depression and anxiety remained severe despite months of energy treatments, Octavia claimed his negative thoughts were creating new chakra blockages faster than she could clear them. She insisted that additional intensive energy work was necessary to overcome the spiritual resistance causing his mental health problems. Over 8 months, Wayne spent nearly $14,000 on chakra healing sessions while his psychological condition remained unchanged and possibly worsened from delayed proper treatment. When he finally sought legitimate mental health care, his therapist explained that chakra healing has no scientific basis and cannot treat actual psychological disorders. Mental health professionals confirmed that depression and anxiety require evidence-based treatment, not mystical energy manipulation. Octavia had exploited 39 people suffering from mental health issues, collecting over $95,000 for worthless chakra healing that delayed proper psychological treatment and potentially worsened their conditions. Our 13th story brings us to Phoenix, where energy healer Penelope operated Quantum Vibration Wellness Center and claimed she could cure chronic diseases by adjusting people's cellular vibrations through mystical frequency therapy. She promised miraculous healing and disease elimination through supernatural energy manipulation. When chronically ill accountant Victor visited her center seeking relief from his autoimmune condition, Penelope analyzed his energy signature and claimed she could detect the vibrational imbalances causing his illness. Your cells are vibrating at the wrong frequency, which is creating inflammation and immune system dysfunction, but I can retune your cellular energy to eliminate your disease. She explained while using electronic devices that supposedly measured mystical vibrations. She claimed her quantum healing methods had cured numerous clients of serious illnesses by correcting their cellular frequencies through advanced spiritual technology. For $2,500, she offered comprehensive vibrational therapy and cellular retuning sessions that would supposedly eliminate his autoimmune condition without conventional medical treatment. Once we restore your proper cellular vibrations, your immune system will function normally again because we're addressing the energetic cause of your illness, Penelope promised. Victor felt desperate enough to try alternative healing and paid for the quantum vibrational treatments. When his medical condition remained unchanged after 3 months of frequency therapy, Penelope claimed his cellular vibrations were more damaged than initially detected and required additional intensive healing sessions. She insisted that stopping conventional medical treatment would allow her energy work to be more effective without pharmaceutical interference. Over 6 months, Victor spent over $15,000 on vibrational healing while his autoimmune condition continued progressing without proper medical management. When his doctor warned that delaying treatment could cause permanent damage, Victor realized the quantum healing was worthless and potentially dangerous. Medical experts confirmed that cellular vibration therapy has no scientific basis and cannot treat actual diseases. Penelope had exploited 26 people suffering from serious medical conditions, collecting over $180,000 for fake quantum healing that delayed proper medical care and endangered their health. Our 14th story takes place in Nashville, where dream interpreter Jasper operated subconscious revelations dream analysis and claimed he could predict future events and reveal hidden truths by analyzing people's dreams through mystical interpretation techniques. He promised accurate life guidance and important insights through supernatural dream decoding. When anxious graduate student Rachel visited seeking understanding about recurring nightmares, Jasper listened to her dream descriptions and announced they contained prophetic warnings about her future. Your dreams are showing me that you're about to face a major betrayal from someone close to you, and your subconscious is trying to prepare you for this upcoming deception, he explained while taking detailed notes about her dream imagery. He claimed his dream interpretation abilities had helped numerous clients avoid disasters and make important life decisions based on prophetic dream messages. For $800, he offered comprehensive dream analysis and ongoing interpretation services to help Rachel understand her subconscious warnings and navigate upcoming challenges. Your dreams contain vital information about your future, and understanding these messages will help you avoid the betrayal and protect yourself from emotional harm, Jasper promised. Rachel felt worried about the predicted betrayal and paid for ongoing dream analysis, hoping to prepare for the supposed upcoming deception. When Jasper's interpretations about betrayal and future events never materialized, he claimed her dreams were shifting to show different potential futures that required updated analysis. Over 7 months, Rachel spent nearly $9,000 on dream interpretation sessions that increased her anxiety and paranoia about imaginary threats. When she realized the dream predictions were completely fabricated, Jasper claimed her conscious doubts were interfering with her subconscious prophetic abilities. Psychology experts confirmed that dreams cannot predict future events and that professional dream interpretation focuses on psychological insight rather than supernatural prophecy. Jasper had exploited 34 people seeking understanding about their dreams, collecting over $75,000 for fake prophetic interpretation that provided no legitimate insights about their futures. Our 15th story occurs in Las Vegas, where spiritual counselor Stephanie operated divine guidance spiritual counseling and claimed she could communicate directly with angels and spirit guides to provide life guidance and healing advice. She promised divine intervention and supernatural assistance through mystical spiritual connections. When struggling single mother Veronica visited seeking guidance about her difficult life circumstances, Stephanie immediately claimed she was receiving messages from Veronica's guardian angels. "Your angels are telling me that you've been chosen for a special spiritual mission, but negative energy is preventing you from fulfilling your divine purpose," she announced while pretending to receive supernatural communications. She explained that Veronica's financial struggles and relationship problems were spiritual tests that could be overcome through proper divine guidance and angelic intervention. For $1,200, Stephanie offered ongoing spiritual counseling and angelic communication sessions to help Veronica receive direct guidance from her heavenly protectors. "Your angels want to help you achieve prosperity and happiness, but you need spiritual preparation to receive their divine assistance," Stephanie promised. Veronica felt hopeful about receiving supernatural help and paid for the angelic guidance services. When Stephanie's supposed angelic messages failed to improve her circumstances, she claimed the spiritual forces were testing Veronica's faith and patience before providing the promised divine assistance. Over 9 months, Veronica spent nearly $16,000 on spiritual counseling, while her life situation remained difficult and potentially worsened by the financial strain of paying for worthless spiritual services. When she demanded proof that Stephanie could actually communicate with angels, the counselor claimed that questioning divine guidance showed lack of faith that blocked angelic assistance. Religious scholars confirmed that legitimate spiritual counseling focuses on psychological support rather than claiming direct supernatural communication. Stephanie had exploited 47 people seeking spiritual guidance, collecting over $130,000 for fake angelic counseling that provided no divine assistance or legitimate spiritual support. Our 16th story unfolds in Seattle, where past life regression therapist Mortimer operated Eternal Soul Journey Center and claimed he could help people access memories from previous incarnations to solve current life problems and heal psychological trauma. He promised profound healing and life transformation through mystical past life exploration. When troubled teacher Jordan visited seeking relief from unexplained fears and relationship difficulties, Mortimer guided her through hypnosis and claimed she was accessing memories from ancient Egypt where she had been betrayed by a lover. "Your current relationship problems stem from trauma in your past life as an Egyptian priestess who was murdered by her romantic partner," he explained while Jordan was in a suggestive hypnotic state. He claimed that understanding past life connections would heal her current psychological issues and eliminate her fears through spiritual resolution of ancient karma. For $1,800, he offered comprehensive past life regression therapy and karmic healing sessions to address her previous incarnation trauma. "Once we heal your past life wounds, your current fears and relationship difficulties will disappear because we're treating the spiritual source of your problems," Mortimer promised. Jordan felt intrigued by the past life explanation and paid for ongoing regression therapy, hoping to resolve her psychological issues through spiritual healing. When her fears and relationship problems persisted despite months of past life sessions, Mortimer claimed she had trauma from multiple previous incarnations that required additional intensive regression work. Over 10 months, Jordan spent over $20,000 on past life therapy while her actual psychological issues remained unaddressed and potentially worsened from delayed proper treatment. When she finally sought legitimate therapy, her psychologist explained that past life regression has no scientific basis and cannot treat actual mental health conditions. Mental health professionals confirmed that psychological problems require evidence-based treatment rather than mystical exploration of supposed previous incarnations. Mortimer had exploited 31 people with mental health concerns, collecting over $150,000 for worthless past life regression that delayed proper psychological care and potentially worsened their conditions. Our 17th story takes place in Austin, where crystal ball reader Clementine operated Mystic Sphere Divination Studio and claimed she could see detailed future events and hidden information by gazing into magical crystal spheres. She promised accurate predictions and important revelations through mystical scrying techniques. When worried mother Lily visited seeking information about her missing teenage daughter, Clementine stared into her crystal ball and claimed she could see the girl's location and circumstances. "I'm seeing your daughter in a distant city, and she appears to be safe but confused about her situation," she announced while pretending to observe mystical visions in the glass sphere. She claimed her crystal ball visions had helped police locate missing persons and provided accurate information that conventional investigation methods couldn't uncover. For $1,500, she offered ongoing scrying sessions to track the missing teenager and provide updates about her whereabouts and safety. The crystal is showing me that your daughter will return home within 6 weeks, but I can monitor her spiritual energy to ensure her protection until she decides to come back, Clementine promised. Lily felt desperate for any information about her missing child and paid for the crystal ball monitoring, hoping to stay connected to her daughter's situation. When Clementine's predictions about timing and circumstances proved completely inaccurate, she claimed the crystal visions were showing multiple potential futures that shifted based on spiritual influences. Over 4 months, Lily spent nearly $12,000 on crystal ball readings while law enforcement continued their actual investigation without any assistance from the mystical predictions. When her daughter was eventually found through conventional police work in completely different circumstances than Clementine had described, the crystal reader tried to take credit for the successful outcome. Investigation revealed Clementine had no psychic abilities and was making random predictions while collecting payment for worthless crystal ball readings that provided no legitimate information. She had exploited 23 families dealing with missing persons cases, collecting over $80,000 for fake scrying services that offered false hope during their most desperate circumstances. Our 18th story brings us to Minneapolis, where spiritual healer Benjamin operated sacred light energy healing and claimed he could cure serious diseases by channeling divine healing energy through his hands and transferring it to patients' bodies. He promised miraculous cures and supernatural healing through mystical energy transmission. When cancer patient Emma visited his center seeking alternative treatment options, Benjamin placed his hands near her body and claimed he could feel the disease cells responding to his healing energy. "I'm channeling powerful divine light directly into your tumor, and I can sense the cancer cells being transformed by the sacred healing vibrations," he announced while pretending to transmit mystical energy through his palms. He claimed his energy healing abilities had cured numerous cancer patients and that conventional medical treatment was unnecessary when proper spiritual healing was applied. For $3,000, he offered intensive energy healing sessions and divine light therapy that would supposedly eliminate her cancer through supernatural intervention. Once the healing energy has completely penetrated your system, the cancer will be eliminated because divine light is more powerful than any medical treatment, Benjamin promised. Emma felt hopeful about the alternative healing approach and paid for the energy transmission treatments while reducing her conventional medical care. When her cancer continued progressing despite months of energy healing, Benjamin claimed her negative thoughts and fear were blocking the divine healing energy from working effectively. He insisted that complete faith in spiritual healing was necessary for the divine light to eliminate her disease. Over 5 months, Emma spent over $18,000 on energy healing while her medical condition deteriorated from delayed proper treatment. When her oncologist warned that postponing chemotherapy could be fatal, Emma realized the energy healing was worthless and potentially life-threatening. Medical experts confirmed that energy healing has no scientific basis and cannot treat cancer or any other serious disease. Benjamin had exploited 19 people with serious medical conditions, collecting over $110,000 for fake energy healing that delayed proper medical care and endangered their lives. Our 19th story occurs in San Diego, where spiritual advisor Russell operated cosmic consciousness spiritual guidance and claimed he could help people achieve enlightenment and supernatural abilities through mystical meditation techniques and spiritual development programs. He promised psychic powers and transcendental experiences through advanced spiritual training. When seeking philosophy student Samantha visited his center hoping to develop her spiritual awareness, Russell evaluated her consciousness level and claimed she had exceptional potential for psychic development. "Your spiritual energy signature shows that you're capable of developing telepathic abilities and clairvoyant vision, but you need proper guidance to unlock these supernatural talents," he explained while pretending to assess her mystical potential. He claimed his spiritual training programs had helped numerous students develop actual psychic abilities and achieve higher states of consciousness through intensive meditation and energy work. For $2,500, he offered comprehensive spiritual development courses and psychic training that would supposedly awaken her dormant supernatural abilities. Once you complete the advanced training, you'll be able to read minds, see the future, and communicate telepathically because we're activating your natural psychic gifts, Russell promised. Samantha felt excited about developing supernatural abilities and paid for the spiritual training, hoping to unlock her psychic potential. When months of meditation and energy exercises failed to produce any psychic abilities, Russell claimed her spiritual development was progressing normally and that supernatural talents required years of dedicated practice to manifest. Over 14 months, Samantha spent over $15,000 on spiritual training courses while never developing any of the promised psychic abilities or supernatural powers. When she demanded proof that psychic abilities actually existed, Russell claimed her doubts were creating negative energy that blocked her spiritual development. Neuroscience experts confirmed that psychic abilities have no scientific basis and that meditation provides psychological benefits rather than supernatural powers. Russell had exploited 38 people seeking spiritual development, collecting over $170,000 for fake psychic training that provided no supernatural abilities or legitimate spiritual advancement. Our 20th story takes place in Tampa, where spiritual consultant Tyler operated Divine Protection Spiritual Services and claimed he could protect people from supernatural threats and negative energy attacks through powerful protective rituals and mystical barriers. He promised spiritual security and supernatural defense through advanced protective magic. When paranoid office worker Kenneth visited his center convinced that co-workers were using black magic against him, Tyler confirmed his fears and claimed he could detect multiple supernatural attacks targeting his energy field. You're under assault from several sources of dark magic, and these negative energy attacks are designed to destroy your career and personal relationships, he announced while pretending to examine mystical threat patterns. He explained that supernatural warfare was common in competitive environments and offered comprehensive spiritual protection services to defend against ongoing magical attacks. For $2,000, he provided protective rituals, spiritual barriers, and mystical shields that would supposedly block all forms of supernatural aggression. Once I establish your protective barriers, the dark magic will be reflected back to your enemies and you'll be completely safe from all forms of spiritual attack, Tyler promised. Kenneth felt relieved to finally address the supposed supernatural threats and paid for ongoing protection services, hoping to defend himself from imaginary magical enemies. When Tyler claimed the attacks were intensifying and required additional protective measures, Kenneth purchased increasingly expensive spiritual defense packages to maintain his mystical security. Over 8 months, Kenneth spent nearly $22,000 on spiritual protection while his paranoid delusions were reinforced rather than addressed through proper mental health treatment. When his family convinced him to seek psychological help, his therapist explained that supernatural attacks don't exist and that his fears indicated possible mental health concerns requiring professional treatment. Mental health experts confirmed that spiritual protection services exploit paranoid thinking and can worsen delusional symptoms. Tyler had exploited 27 people with paranoid concerns, collecting over $125,000 for fake spiritual protection that reinforced unhealthy thinking patterns and delayed proper psychological care. Our 21st story unfolds in Orlando, where meditation guru Vanessa operated Transcendental Awareness Meditation Center and claimed her advanced meditation techniques could help people achieve supernatural consciousness states and develop miraculous healing abilities. She promised enlightenment and mystical powers through intensive spiritual practices. When stressed executive Patricia visited seeking relief from work pressures, Vanessa evaluated her meditation potential and claimed she could achieve transcendental consciousness within months of proper training. Your spiritual vibration indicates exceptional capacity for advanced meditation states that will eliminate stress and unlock supernatural healing powers, she explained while assessing Patricia's mystical readiness. She claimed her meditation methods had helped numerous students achieve enlightenment and develop miraculous abilities through intensive consciousness expansion techniques. For $3,000, she offered advanced meditation training and consciousness development programs that would supposedly transform Patricia's entire existence through spiritual awakening. Once you master the transcendental techniques, you'll achieve permanent inner peace and develop healing abilities that surpass conventional medicine, Vanessa promised. Patricia felt attracted to the spiritual transformation and paid for intensive meditation training, hoping to achieve enlightenment and supernatural abilities. When months of expensive meditation sessions failed to produce transcendental experiences or healing powers, Vanessa claimed Patricia's spiritual progress was advancing normally and that enlightenment required complete dedication to the meditation practices. Over 12 months, Patricia spent over $19,000 on meditation training while experiencing only normal relaxation benefits rather than the promised supernatural transformation. When she realized the transcendental claims were exaggerated, Vanessa insisted that questioning the spiritual process demonstrated lack of commitment that prevented enlightenment. Meditation researchers confirmed that while meditation provides legitimate psychological benefits, it cannot produce supernatural powers or miraculous healing abilities. Vanessa had exploited 35 people seeking spiritual development, collecting over $140,000 for exaggerated meditation training that promised unrealistic supernatural results. Our 20-second story brings us to Baltimore, where psychic investigator Roderick operated paranormal detection services and claimed he could solve crimes and find missing persons using supernatural investigation techniques and psychic detection abilities. He promised breakthrough results and hidden information through mystical crime-solving methods. When desperate family member Nicole contacted him about her brother's unsolved murder case, Roderick claimed his psychic abilities could reveal information that police investigators had missed. "I'm receiving visions about your brother's death, and the spirits are showing me details about the killer's identity and location," he announced while pretending to receive supernatural crime information. He explained that psychic investigation could uncover evidence and witness information that conventional detective work couldn't access through mystical crime-solving techniques. For $2,500, he offered comprehensive psychic investigation services and supernatural crime analysis that would supposedly solve her brother's murder case. "The spirits of murder victims always seek justice, and I can communicate with your brother to learn exactly what happened and identify his killer," Roderick promised. Nicole felt desperate for answers and paid for psychic investigation, hoping to finally solve her brother's case. When Roderick's supposed psychic revelations provided no useful information and led to false accusations against innocent people, he claimed the spiritual messages were being interfered with by negative energy from the killer. Over 6 months, Nicole spent over $14,000 on psychic investigation, while law enforcement continued their actual detective work without any assistance from the supernatural crime-solving claims. When she realized the psychic investigation was worthless and potentially harmful to innocent people, Roderick insisted that solving murders through spiritual communication required patience and ongoing psychic work. Law enforcement confirmed that psychic investigation has no legitimate value in criminal cases and that supernatural crime-solving claims often interfere with actual detective work. Roderick had exploited 21 families dealing with unsolved crimes, collecting over $95,000 for fake psychic investigation that provided no legitimate assistance and sometimes hindered real police work. Our 23rd story takes place in Kansas City, where spiritual teacher Natalie operated Ascended Masters Wisdom School and claimed she could channel messages from enlightened beings and provide divine guidance through supernatural communication with ancient spiritual masters. She promised profound wisdom and life transformation through mystical teachings. When searching spiritual seeker Andrew visited her school hoping to find deeper meaning in his life, Natalie claimed she was receiving messages from ascended masters who wanted to guide his spiritual development. "The enlightened beings are telling me that you've been chosen for special spiritual work, but you need proper preparation to receive their advanced teachings," she announced while pretending to channel supernatural communications. She explained that ascended masters only communicated with dedicated students who demonstrated commitment through intensive spiritual study and substantial financial investment. For $1,800, she offered exclusive access to channeled wisdom and direct guidance from enlightened beings who supposedly resided in higher dimensional realms. Once you're properly prepared, the ascended masters will reveal profound spiritual secrets that will transform your consciousness and unlock your divine potential, Natalie promised. Andrew felt honored to be chosen for special spiritual guidance and paid for access to the channeled teachings hoping to receive enlightened wisdom. When Natalie's supposed messages from ascended masters provided only generic spiritual advice rather than profound revelations, she claimed the enlightened beings were testing his dedication and patience before sharing their deepest wisdom. Over 10 months, Andrew spent nearly $16,000 on channeled teachings while receiving only common spiritual platitudes rather than the promised divine revelations. When he demanded proof that she could actually communicate with ascended masters, Natalie claimed his doubts were creating negative energy that blocked the supernatural communications. Religious scholars confirmed that legitimate spiritual teaching focuses on established wisdom traditions rather than claiming direct supernatural communication with enlightened beings. Natalie had exploited 43 people seeking spiritual guidance, collecting over $160,000 for fake channeled teachings that provided no genuine spiritual wisdom or divine guidance. Our 24th story occurs in Richmond, where holistic healer Jessica operated Sacred Plant Medicine Center and claimed her herbal remedies and plant extracts could cure serious diseases through natural healing compounds and botanical medicine. She promised miraculous cures and supernatural healing through mystical plant preparations. When chronically ill teacher Jennifer visited seeking alternative treatment for her autoimmune condition, Jessica examined her symptoms and claimed she could cure the disease using rare healing plants from the Amazon rainforest. Your illness can be completely eliminated using sacred plant medicines that contain powerful healing compounds unknown to conventional medicine, she explained while displaying exotic herbal preparations. She claimed her plant remedies had cured numerous patients of serious diseases and that pharmaceutical medicine was unnecessary when proper botanical healing was applied. For $2,500, she provided comprehensive herbal treatment programs and sacred plant medicine that would supposedly eliminate Jennifer's autoimmune condition through natural healing. Once the plant medicines have restored your body's natural balance, your immune system will function normally again because we're using the healing wisdom of indigenous shamans, Jessica promised. Jennifer felt hopeful about natural healing and paid for the herbal treatments while reducing her conventional medical care. When her autoimmune condition continued progressing despite months of expensive plant medicines, Jessica claimed the healing required additional rare herbs that were difficult to obtain and more costly to prepare. Over 7 months, Jennifer spent over $17,000 on herbal remedies while her medical condition deteriorated from delayed proper treatment. When her rheumatologist warned that postponing immunosuppressive therapy could cause permanent joint damage, Jennifer realized the plant medicines were worthless and potentially dangerous. Medical experts confirmed that while some plants have legitimate medicinal properties, exotic herbal remedies cannot cure serious autoimmune diseases and may interact dangerously with necessary medications. Jessica had exploited 24 people with serious medical conditions, collecting over $120,000 for unproven herbal treatments that delayed proper medical care and endangered their health. Our 25th story unfolds in Phoenix, where spiritual counselor Jasmine operated Karmic Healing Spiritual Center and claimed she could eliminate negative karma and resolve past life debts through intensive spiritual cleansing and karmic purification rituals. She promised spiritual liberation and improved life circumstances through mystical karma modification. When struggling artist Harold visited seeking relief from his ongoing financial and relationship difficulties, Jasmine analyzed his karmic profile and claimed he was carrying enormous spiritual debt from previous incarnations. Your current problems are punishment for terrible actions you committed in past lives, and this negative karma will continue destroying your life until properly resolved, she explained while pretending to examine his spiritual record. She claimed that karmic debts could only be eliminated through intensive spiritual work and substantial financial sacrifice that demonstrated genuine commitment to spiritual purification. For $3,000, she offered comprehensive karmic cleansing and past life debt resolution that would supposedly eliminate his spiritual burdens and transform his life circumstances. Once we clear your karmic debt, your financial and relationship problems will disappear because we're removing the spiritual obstacles preventing your success and happiness, Jasmine promised. Harold felt desperate to escape his difficulties and paid for karmic healing, hoping to resolve his spiritual debts and improve his life situation. When Jasmine claimed his karmic debt was larger than initially detected and required additional intensive cleansing sessions, Harold purchased increasingly expensive spiritual purification packages to eliminate his supposed past life obligations. Over 11 months, Harold spent nearly $25,000 on karmic healing while his actual life problems remained unchanged and potentially worsened by the financial strain of paying for worthless spiritual services. When he realized the karmic debt concept was being used to exploit his desperation, Jasmine claimed that questioning spiritual teachings would create additional negative karma that would worsen his life circumstances. Comparative religion scholars confirmed that legitimate karma concepts focus on personal responsibility rather than claiming the ability to eliminate spiritual debts through paid services. Jasmine had exploited 36 people experiencing life difficulties, collecting over $175,000 for fake karmic healing that provided no spiritual benefits or life improvements. Our 26th story brings us to Milwaukee, where psychic healer Thaddeus operated Celestial Energy Healing Studio and claimed he could cure mental illness and emotional trauma by adjusting people's spiritual energy frequencies and removing negative attachments from their aura. He promised psychological healing and emotional transformation through mystical energy manipulation. When depressed college student Grace visited seeking relief from severe anxiety and depression, Thaddeus examined her energy field and claimed she had multiple spiritual attachments causing her mental health problems. Your depression is caused by negative entities that have attached themselves to your aura, and these spiritual parasites are feeding on your emotional energy, he explained while pretending to detect supernatural interference. He claimed that conventional therapy couldn't address spiritual causes of mental illness and offered energy healing sessions that would eliminate the negative attachments and cure her psychological problems. For $1,200, he provided comprehensive energy clearing and spiritual attachment removal that would supposedly eliminate her depression and anxiety through mystical intervention. Once we remove the negative entities, your mental health will be completely restored because we're treating the spiritual source of your psychological symptoms, Thaddeus promised. Grace felt hopeful about the alternative treatment approach and paid for energy healing sessions while reducing her conventional therapy. When her depression and anxiety remained severe despite months of spiritual treatments, Thaddeus claimed the negative attachments were more numerous than initially detected and required additional intensive energy clearing work. Over 9 months, Grace spent over $15,000 on energy healing while her mental health condition remained untreated and possibly worsened from delayed proper psychological care. When her family convinced her to return to legitimate therapy, her psychologist explained that spiritual attachment theory has no scientific basis and cannot treat actual mental health conditions. Mental health professionals confirmed that depression and anxiety require evidence-based treatment rather than mystical energy manipulation. Thaddeus had exploited 29 people with mental health issues, collecting over $110,000 for worthless energy healing that delayed proper psychological treatment and potentially worsened their conditions. Our 27th story takes place in Louisville, where spiritual advisor Fitzgerald operated divine intervention prayer services and claimed he could solve people's problems through powerful prayer intercession and direct communication with divine forces. He promised miraculous intervention and supernatural assistance through intensive spiritual prayer work. When financially struggling mechanic Leroy contacted him about his mounting debts and unemployment, Fitzgerald claimed he could petition divine forces to provide miraculous financial assistance through powerful prayer intervention. God wants to bless you with financial abundance, but spiritual obstacles are blocking the divine flow of prosperity into your life, he explained while promising to intercede with heavenly powers. He claimed his prayer services had helped numerous people receive miraculous financial blessings, and that proper spiritual intercession could overcome any life obstacle through divine intervention. For $800, he offered intensive prayer services and spiritual intercession that would supposedly convince divine forces to solve Leroy's financial problems through supernatural assistance. Once I petition God on your behalf with sufficient spiritual intensity, you'll receive the financial miracle you need because divine intervention is more powerful than any earthly solution, Fitzgerald promised. Leroy felt desperate enough to try prayer intervention and paid for spiritual intercession, hoping to receive divine financial assistance. When weeks passed without any improvement in his circumstances, Fitzgerald claimed that divine timing was different from human expectations and that continued prayer work was necessary to maintain spiritual momentum toward the miracle. Over 6 months, Leroy spent nearly $7,000 on prayer services while his financial situation continued deteriorating from unemployment and mounting debt. When he realized the prayer intercession was worthless, Fitzgerald claimed that losing faith in divine intervention would prevent the miracle from manifesting. Religious leaders confirmed that legitimate prayer focuses on spiritual comfort rather than promising guaranteed material results through paid intercession services. Fitzgerald had exploited 41 people experiencing financial difficulties, collecting over $85,000 for fake prayer services that provided false hope during their most desperate circumstances. Our 28th story occurs in Detroit, where spiritual teacher Wayne operated Cosmic Truth Spiritual Academy and claimed he could teach people to manifest reality and control their life circumstances through advanced metaphysical techniques and consciousness manipulation. He promised unlimited power and life mastery through mystical reality creation methods. When ambitious salesman Trevor visited seeking to improve his career success, Wayne evaluated his manifestation potential and claimed he could teach him to control reality through concentrated thought and spiritual energy manipulation. You have exceptional manifestation abilities that can be developed to create unlimited wealth and success, but you need proper training to harness your consciousness power, he explained while assessing Trevor's metaphysical potential. He claimed his reality creation techniques had helped numerous students achieve extraordinary success, and that conventional goal setting was primitive compared to advanced consciousness manipulation. For $2,500, he offered comprehensive manifestation training and reality control courses that would supposedly enable Trevor to create any desired outcome through focused mental energy. Once you master the consciousness techniques, you'll be able to manifest unlimited wealth and control all aspects of your reality because thought is the fundamental creative force in the universe, Wayne promised. Trevor felt excited about gaining control over his circumstances and paid for manifestation training hoping to achieve unlimited success through consciousness manipulation. When months of expensive training failed to produce any enhanced ability to control reality or improve his circumstances, Wayne claimed Trevor's manifestation skills were developing normally and that reality creation required complete dedication to the metaphysical practices. Over 13 months, Trevor spent over $18,000 on manifestation training while his actual life circumstances remained unchanged and his career goals remained unachieved through conventional effort. When he realized the reality creation claims were exaggerated, Wayne insisted that questioning metaphysical principles demonstrated lack of commitment that prevented successful manifestation. Psychology experts confirmed that while positive thinking provides legitimate benefits, consciousness cannot manipulate external reality or guarantee specific outcomes through mental techniques alone. Wayne had exploited 37 people seeking life improvement, collecting over $150,000 for exaggerated manifestation training that promised unrealistic control over circumstances and outcomes. Our 29th story unfolds in Nashville, where spiritual consultant Madison operated Sacred Destiny Life Guidance and claimed she could predict people's romantic futures and help them find their soulmates through mystical relationship analysis and spiritual matchmaking services. She promised perfect love and romantic fulfillment through supernatural relationship guidance. When lonely nurse Melissa visited seeking help finding lasting love, Madison analyzed her romantic energy and claimed she could identify Melissa's destined soulmate through spiritual relationship mapping. Your romantic aura shows that your perfect soulmate is nearby, but negative relationship patterns are preventing you from recognizing your destined partner, she explained while pretending to examine mystical love connections. She claimed her spiritual matchmaking had helped numerous clients find perfect romantic partners and that conventional dating was ineffective compared to supernatural relationship guidance. For $1,500, she offered comprehensive romantic guidance and soulmate identification services that would supposedly lead Melissa to her perfect love match through mystical intervention. Once we clear your relationship blocks and align your romantic energy, you'll meet your soulmate within 3 months because spiritual forces will guide you to your destined partner, Madison promised. Melissa felt hopeful about finding true love and paid for spiritual matchmaking hoping to discover her perfect romantic partner through supernatural guidance. When Madison's predictions about meeting her soulmate failed to materialize and the relationship advice proved ineffective, she claimed the romantic timing was influenced by cosmic cycles that required additional spiritual preparation. Over 8 months, Melissa spent nearly $12,000 on romantic guidance while remaining single and possibly missing genuine relationship opportunities by following mystical dating advice. When she realized the soulmate predictions were worthless, Madison claimed that doubting spiritual romance guidance would block the cosmic forces trying to bring her destined partner into her life. Relationship experts confirmed that healthy romantic relationships develop through genuine compatibility and communication rather than supernatural matchmaking or mystical intervention. Madison had exploited 32 people seeking romantic relationships, collecting over $95,000 for fake spiritual matchmaking that provided no legitimate relationship guidance or romantic assistance. Our 30th story takes place in Salt Lake City, where energy worker Wilhelmina operated Quantum Consciousness Healing Center and claimed she could heal trauma and eliminate psychological problems by accessing people's quantum energy fields and reprogramming their consciousness patterns. She promised complete psychological transformation and trauma resolution through advanced quantum healing techniques. When trauma survivor Zoe visited seeking relief from PTSD symptoms, Wilhelmina examined her quantum field and claimed she could eliminate the trauma by reprogramming her consciousness at the quantum level. Your trauma is stored in your quantum energy matrix, and conventional therapy can't access these deep consciousness patterns that need quantum reprogramming, she explained while pretending to analyze mystical energy structures. She claimed her quantum consciousness methods had cured numerous trauma survivors, and that traditional therapy was primitive compared to advanced quantum psychological healing. For $3,000, she offered comprehensive quantum trauma healing and consciousness reprogramming that would supposedly eliminate Zoe's PTSD through mystical intervention. Once we reprogram your quantum consciousness patterns, your trauma symptoms will disappear permanently because we're treating the energetic source of your psychological problems, Wilhelmina promised. Zoe felt attracted to the advanced healing approach and paid for quantum therapy, hoping to eliminate her trauma through consciousness reprogramming. When her PTSD symptoms remained severe despite months of expensive quantum treatments, Wilhelmina claimed the trauma was more deeply embedded in her quantum field than initially detected and required additional intensive consciousness work. Over 7 months, Zoe spent over $16,000 on quantum healing, while her actual trauma remained untreated and possibly worsened from delayed proper psychological care. When she finally sought legitimate trauma therapy, her psychologist explained that quantum consciousness healing has no scientific basis and cannot treat actual psychological trauma. Mental health professionals confirmed that PTSD requires evidence-based trauma treatment rather than mystical consciousness manipulation. Wilhelmina had exploited 26 people with trauma histories, collecting over $130,000 for worthless quantum healing that delayed proper psychological treatment and potentially worsened their trauma symptoms. Our 31st story brings us to Memphis, where spiritual advisor Garrett operated Universal Truth Spiritual Consulting and claimed he could reveal people's life purposes and spiritual missions through divine revelation and cosmic guidance sessions. He promised profound meaning and spiritual fulfillment through mystical purpose discovery. When searching philosophy graduate Robert visited seeking direction about his life path, Garrett meditated on his spiritual profile and claimed he was receiving divine messages about Robert's cosmic mission. The universe is telling me that you've been chosen for important spiritual work that will impact thousands of people, but you need proper guidance to understand your divine assignment, he announced while pretending to receive supernatural revelations. He claimed his spiritual consulting had helped numerous people discover their cosmic purposes and that conventional career guidance couldn't access the spiritual information necessary for true life fulfillment. For $2,000, he offered comprehensive purpose revelation sessions and cosmic mission guidance that would supposedly unveil Robert's divine assignment through mystical consultation. Once you understand your spiritual mission, you'll experience profound fulfillment and success because you'll be aligned with your cosmic purpose and universal destiny, Garrett promised. Robert felt excited about discovering his spiritual mission and paid for purpose guidance, hoping to find profound meaning through divine revelation. When Garrett's supposed cosmic messages provided only vague spiritual platitudes rather than specific life direction, he claimed the divine guidance was being revealed gradually and required ongoing spiritual consultation to receive complete mission details. Over 9 months, Robert spent nearly $14,000 on purpose sessions while remaining confused about his life direction and career goals. When he realized the cosmic mission concept was meaningless, Garrett claimed that questioning divine guidance showed spiritual immaturity that prevented full revelation of his cosmic assignment. Life coaches confirmed that legitimate purpose discovery involves self-reflection and practical exploration rather than mystical revelation or cosmic mission assignment. Garrett had exploited 38 people seeking life direction, collecting over $120,000 for fake spiritual consulting that provided no genuine purpose guidance or meaningful life direction. Our 32nd story occurs in Albuquerque, where mystical advisor Cordelia operated Sacred Mysteries Divination Center and claimed she could reveal hidden secrets and solve personal mysteries through supernatural investigation techniques and psychic detection abilities. She promised breakthrough revelations and hidden truth discovery through mystical investigation methods. When suspicious wife Diana contacted her about her husband's secretive behavior, Cordelia claimed her psychic abilities could uncover the truth about his activities and reveal any deceptions through supernatural investigation. "I'm receiving visions about your husband's secret activities, and the mystical forces are showing me information that conventional investigation couldn't discover," she announced while pretending to conduct psychic surveillance. She explained that psychic investigation could reveal hidden information and secret activities that normal detective work couldn't access through supernatural detection techniques. For $1,800, she offered comprehensive psychic investigation and mystical surveillance that would supposedly expose her husband's secrets through supernatural investigation methods. "The psychic realm contains all hidden information, and I can access these mystical records to reveal exactly what your husband is hiding and why he's being secretive," Cordelia promised. Diana felt desperate for answers about her husband's behavior and paid for psychic investigation, hoping to discover the truth about his secretive activities. When Cordelia's supposed psychic revelations provided false information that damaged Diana's marriage through unfounded accusations, she claimed the mystical visions were being interfered with by negative energy from the deceptive husband. Over 5 months, Diana spent over $11,000 on psychic investigation while her marriage deteriorated from suspicion and mistrust based on worthless supernatural accusations. When she hired a legitimate private investigator who found no evidence of wrongdoing, she realized the psychic investigation had been completely fabricated. Investigation professionals confirmed that psychic detection has no legitimate value in uncovering hidden information and that supernatural investigation claims often create more problems than they solve. Cordelia had exploited 24 people dealing with trust issues, collecting over $75,000 for fake psychic investigation that damaged relationships through false accusations and worthless supernatural surveillance. Our 33rd story concludes in Phoenix, where spiritual healer Octavius operated Miraculous Healing Light Center and claimed he could cure any disease or condition by channeling divine healing energy and transferring supernatural restoration power directly into patients' bodies. He promised complete healing and miraculous cures through divine intervention and spiritual energy transmission. When terminally ill grandmother Rosalind visited his center seeking hope for her advanced cancer diagnosis, Octavius placed his hands over her body and claimed he could feel divine healing energy flowing through him into her diseased cells. "God is using me as a vessel to channel miraculous healing power directly into your cancer, and I can sense the divine light destroying the malignant cells," he announced while pretending to transmit supernatural healing energy. He claimed his divine healing abilities had cured numerous terminal patients and that conventional medical treatment was unnecessary when proper spiritual healing was applied through divine intervention. For $5,000, he offered intensive divine healing sessions and miraculous cure treatments that would supposedly eliminate her cancer through supernatural restoration. "Once the divine healing energy has completely penetrated your system, the cancer will be eliminated entirely because God's healing power is absolute and can overcome any earthly disease," Octavius promised. Rosalind felt desperate for any hope and paid for divine healing treatments while postponing recommended chemotherapy. When her cancer continued progressing rapidly despite expensive healing sessions, Octavius claimed her lack of complete faith was interfering with divine intervention and that additional intensive prayer was necessary to receive the full miraculous cure. Over 3 months, Rosalind spent her remaining savings of $28,000 on divine healing while her condition deteriorated from delayed proper medical treatment. When her oncologist explained that postponing chemotherapy had allowed the cancer to become inoperable, her family realized the divine healing had cost precious time that could have extended her life. Medical experts confirm that faith healing cannot cure cancer or any serious disease, and that claims of miraculous cures often prevent patients from receiving life-saving medical treatment. Octavius had exploited 17 people with terminal illnesses, collecting over $200,000 for worthless divine healing that gave false hope and potentially shortened their lives by delaying proper medical care. Thank you for joining me tonight on Drowsy Tales Daily, and may these stories guide you into peaceful sleep with renewed awareness of the importance of skeptical thinking and protecting vulnerable people from spiritual predators who would exploit their desperation during life's most challenging moments. Sweet dreams, and I'll see you tomorrow night for another collection of fascinating Reddit stories designed to help you drift off to sleep.